May the Lord be with you.
And also with you.
It's time to hear one of God's stories. This is our desert box. And so many amazing things happened in the desert that we need a small piece of it here in this room. And the desert is a strange and wild place. At night it's very cold, and in the day it's burning hot. There's almost no water at all. And the desert is always changing, and the wind comes and it blows and shapes and molds the desert, and it is never, ever the same. The people of God were wandering in the desert. They could have been living in the beautiful promised land where there's food and water. But they were afraid. We cannot go into the promised land, they said. Those people are giants, and we are like grasshoppers. They will kill us. So they had to wander in the desert for many, many years until they came to the River Jordan. From there, they could see the promised land. They could see Gilgal and the huge city of Jericho. One day, God said to Joshua, "Don't be afraid. Lead the people of God into the promised land. Be strong, have courage. I will be with you wherever you go." So Joshua said to the people, "Get ready. God will show us the way through the Jordan and into the promised land. Don't be afraid." God rolled back the River Jordan. And with the ark leading the way, all of the people of God crossed safely on dry land. All of the people of God. When they were safe in the promised land, they had all made it through. And God said, "Take 12 stones in the middle of the Jordan." And Joshua said, "When your children ask, 'What do these stones mean?' you will say, 'The people of God passed through the Jordan and into dry land, onto the promised land. For God dried up the Jordan, just as God did the Red Sea, so that everyone may know God's power.' And when the kings of the land heard what God had done, they were afraid, and the people of God began to live in the promised land." I wonder how the people felt when Joshua told them to get ready for the promised land. I wonder how it felt when God led them through the water safely. I wonder what the people felt now that they are in the promised land. The story we heard today of the promised land and God's people crossing the Jordan is in the Bible. And as we get ready to read the story in the Bible, we'll light the Christ candle, knowing that this light of Christ is with us in this space. In the book of Joshua, after Moses, the Lord's servant, had died, the Lord spoke to Joshua. He had been Moses' helper. My servant Moses is dead. Now get ready to cross over the Jordan with this entire people to the land that I am going to give to the Israelites. I am giving you every place where you set foot, exactly as I promised Moses. Your territory will stretch from the desert and from Lebanon as far as the great Euphrates River, including all of Hittite land up to the Mediterranean Sea and on to the west. As we enjoy the Christ candle and think of God's promises to us and all of God's people, we change the light and know that the light and love of God is with us not just in this place, but in all places and spaces, with you always. Amen.